Alrighty. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a SPY strategy. So this strategy mainly specifically to trade on SPY, and I do think it's a pretty simple strategy to set up as well, at least in my opinion. So if you are new to trading options, you can certainly trade this strategy as well. Now, whenever I trade any strategy, either I try and find the right underlying that suits this strategy, or I try and design this strategy around the underlying that I want to trade. So it will be this case for this video. So basically we have already decided to choose SPY as our underlying. So now we want to design a strategy just specifically for SPY. So how do we do that? So first of all, we need to first understand what is the nature of SPY, right? We want to understand a little bit more about underlying before we can construct a strategy around it. So to me, SPY is basically what it's called a positive drift underlying, right? So positive drift basically just means that the market wants to go up over time. So now that we know that SPY is a positive drift underlying, we want to design our strategy that really takes advantage of this positive drift. So what kind of strategy will do well with SPY? So generally, the strategies that will do well would be those bullish strategies, right? Generally, bullish strategies tend to do well over time. But at the same time, we also want to construct a strategy where it's not entirely bullish, where it's also neutral, because not all the time the market will always be going up, right? There'll be time the market stays still and even dips a little bit before it goes up higher again. So we're going to design a strategy around this characteristic of SPY. So first of all, let's go to the option chain. So the very first thing we want to do is select the DTE, right? So if you have been a follower of my channel by now, you know that I like to go somewhere around 45 days to expiration, right? So in this case, it's around the April 20th, which is the closest to 45 days because it's 53, right? I like to go above 45 rather than below 45 because that's where our edge lies. So for this example, I'm going to choose the April 20th. So what kind of strategy can we put on that can really take advantage of this positive drift? Well, the very first and most simple strategy would be what's called the short put. Now, before I go any further, just want to let you know that we aren't just going to trade the short put, right? We're going to trade the short put in combination with another strategy, right? So first off, we want to select the short put for the strategy. So what is the strike? So generally, when we are trying to select the strikes, the way we want to go around it is to position our strikes around the delta, right? So as you can see down here, I've already got the delta column down here. So you can see it ranges from 0.13 and it goes all the way up to 0.44, which is around where at the market is, right? Basically, this is where the current market price is, around 505, 506. So when we're choosing the short put, generally I like to go for somewhere around the expected move range. So what is the expected move range? The expected move range is somewhere around 16 deltas, right? 16 to 20 deltas thereabouts, right? So for this example, let us choose the 20 delta. So when you put on a short put at around 20 delta, naturally you will have a win rate of roughly around 80%. So how do we know that it's around 80%? Well, simply it's because this delta down here is also an indication of what is the probability of this strike down here for it saying being in the money at expiration, right? So if there's a 20 delta, right, 0.20 just means 20 delta because each option controls 100 shares. So if it says 20 delta, it just means there is a 20% chance, roughly, of it being in the money at expiration. And as you know, if the trade is in the money, basically if it's below this strike down here, then you know it's roughly going to be a loss. So in this case, we can run up to about $3 in terms of our premium. So how do you know if it's going to be a loss? We know it's going to be a loss if it goes $3 below 487, right? Which is going to be 484. So anything below 484, we're going to start to see a loss. All right, so this is the short put part of the strategy. Now, you might be thinking, hey, Davis, but what if I put on the short put and the market starts to go down, right? The market starts to tank. Well, in that case, we also want to put on another strategy to also help, in case the market goes down the moment you put it on. And what is that strategy? That strategy is where we go to the call side and we want to put on the call credit spread. So as you know, the call credit spread is a bearish strategy. So that means you want the market to go down. So here we have something pretty beautiful, right? Because we have a short put strategy whereby we generally want the market to go up And then we have a call credit spread where we want the market to go down as well. So we have a combination of this two strategy, a bullish and a bearish strategy, to make up this strategy. Now the question is, how do you actually construct your call credit spread? So again, this is where we want to go to see our delta column. So generally for the call credit spread side, we want to go for somewhere around, say, 30 deltas, right? 30 deltas. So in this case, I'll go for the one at 31 deltas, which is, pretty close to 30. So the question now is, how wide should our call credit spread be? So remember, we already said that this SPY is a positive drift vehicle. That means the market wants to go up over time. So it serves us to only design a strategy where there is no risk to the upside, right? We don't want to construct a strategy whereby, for the SPY, if the market keeps going up, then we're going to lose money, right? There's no point because we already know the market wants to go up over time for SPY. So that means we want to craft a call credit spread whereby the overall strategy will still be profitable if the market goes up, right? So how do we do that? So to do that, the most important thing is to construct a call credit spread whereby the width is smaller than the overall credit that we receive, right? So here's what I mean. So let's say, for example, if we construct a call credit spread that is $3 wide, we need to have a premium that is more than $3. So as you can see over here, it says that the premium is $3.81, right? Basically what it means is that you'll be collecting $381 for every of the strategy that you put on. So $3.81 and your call credit spread is $3 wide. What does that mean? Remember, the call credit spread, what is the maximum risk of that? The maximum risk of the call credit spread is basically the width of the spread. So if the width of the spread is $3, that means the max loss is $3 or $300 per spread, right? So in this case, let's say if you lose $3, the market goes up. Guess what? You have a total of $3.81, which means there's a spillover of 81 cents. That means if the market goes all the way up, it rallies past 523, even goes all the way to 550 even, you're still going to be in a profit, right? So if you want to be sure, all you got to do is go and take a look at the P&L graph, right? So let me just show you the P&L graph down here. So as you can see, this is the P&L graph of this strategy. So what is this strategy called? This strategy is called the Jade Lizard. By the way, if you like this video so far, please subscribe and also click the thumbs up button, and also do get your free copy of the Options Income Blueprint, where I share the top 3 option strategies that help you generate a consistent income each month, trading just 1 to 2 hours a day, right? So if you want to go ahead to get this copy, just head on over to optionswithdavis.com/blueprint. All right, back to the video. So the Jade Lizard is a combination of 2 credit strategies, right? 2 premium selling strategies. You have a short put and then you have a call credit spread. So as you can see down here, this red color line is where the current market price is. Now, if the market goes all the way up, right? So the price line is below, right? As you can see on the left hand side, this is 455. On the right hand side, this is 557. So if the market was to go all the way up from where the current market price is, so let's say, for example, it goes here, then guess what? You do not have to worry because you still get a profit. And if the market actually stays within this zone down here, from here all the way to here, then you're going to actually realize the max profit if you hold all the way to expiration. So this is the beauty of this strategy, right? Because you have a bullish strategy on one side, you have a bearish strategy on one side. So if the market doesn't keep going up, right, basically there will be times where there's going to be retracements, there'll be times where there's going to be reversal as well. This call credit spread side is really going to come in to help cushion the impact of the loss on the short put side. Now, of course, if the market keeps going all the way down, there will reach a point where you will get into a loss, and that is the risk of any strategy, right? So again, we designed this strategy because SPY generally is a positive drift vehicle where it wants to keep going up over time, right? So in a general sense, as long as the market keeps going up, this strategy will start to do well. Now, this Jade Lizard, what I like about it is that it's actually very flexible, right? So as you can see down here, the credit you receive is $3.81. So if the market, let's say, goes all the way here and lands at this point at expiration, let's say, then you're just going to get the minimum profit, right? What is the minimum profit? if you were to just hover it, it's going to be around $81, right? Basically, right, your $3 loss from the $3.81 credit you receive, 81 cents. Now, what if you actually want to receive a little bit more if the market goes up? Well, in this case, you can simply just adjust the call credit spread. That means to say you actually do not have to have a $3 wide spread. Instead, you may want to have maybe just a $2 wide spread, right? If you have a $2 wide spread, let us take a look at the P&L graph now again. Let me just delete this drawing. Now, as you can see down here, now if the market goes all the way up, you have $155. And if the market stays within this max profit zone, from this point down here, let me just get my marker, from this point to this point, then you're going to get the max profit of roughly around $355. So as you can see, the Jade Lizard is really a very versatile strategy, and I do like this strategy quite a lot. Now, the next important thing you want to take a look at before you actually place this strategy is to take a look at the buying power requirement. Remember, this is an undefined risk strategy, right? Because you have a short put on one end, you need to see what is the BPR required to put on this trade. So because this is SPY is around $505, it can be quite high. So we just have to take a look at what is the buying power effect. So as you can see down here, it says the buying power effect is slightly over $8,000. So needless to say, if you don't have, a pretty big account, it's very hard for you to put on this strategy. Now, what if your account size is much smaller, right? Maybe you have a $10,000 account, or maybe even a $5,000 account. Then needless to say, you cannot put on this strategy because it's just way too big. So what is the solution? Well, the solution is actually pretty simple. The solution is just to simply just put a long put at the bottom and define this strategy, right? Basically change it into a defined risk strategy. So instead of just having a short put down here, what you want to do is add a long put as well, right? You want to add a long put. So now it becomes a defined risk strategy. So it's now a short put spread and a short call spread. All right. So how do you decide where to put this long put at, right? To define your spread down here. Well, this comes down to your risk allocation, right? What is the risk that you can actually have per trade, right? So let's say, for example, your risk per trade is maybe $1,000, right? So if it's $1,000, then what you want to do is just simply go to 10 points wide. So 487, you go all the way to 477, right? 477. Right now, what you have done is that you have limited the risk to the downside, and now your buying power effect is so much lower, right? You notice your buying power effect right now is only $840 because you have the credit as well. Now, we definitely want to adjust the call credit spread side as well, because remember, we want this strategy to have no risk to the upside. So as it stands, there's going to be some risk, right? So as you can see, let me just bring up the P&L graph. So now you can see on the right hand side, there is going to be some risk, right? Although it's very minimal, right? You can see the risk is only $38. But if you want to construct one whereby there's no risk to the upside, which also means that you have a very high win rate. And by the way, the win rate for this strategy should be around 80% because it's determined by where you place your short put strike at, right? If your short put strike is around 20 deltas, then you know this whole strategy should roughly have about an 80% win rate or so. Now, how do you actually change the strikes up for the call spread so that it has no risk? Remember again the rule, right? You want the call spread width to be smaller than the overall credit that you receive. So we have to change our call spread. So let's go up here, and what we got to do right now is just maybe change this call spread. Now we got to change it to 1 point wide. So 1 point wide, the max loss on this call credit spread is going to be $1. And we have now received $1.34, which means to say we have covered the loss if it goes past this call credit spread side. So let us take a look at the P&L graph again. And as you can see, there is now no risk to the upside. So if the market goes all the way up, we're going to make at least still $34. And if the market is going to stay within this profit zone, which it can, right, quite a big portion of the time, then we're going to make the max profit if it holds all the way to expiration. The max profit is going to be $134. So this is what is called the Jade Iron Condor, right? So Jade Iron Condor is basically a term that I came up with. I coined this strategy, the Jade Iron Condor, mainly because it's just the defined risk version of the Jade Lizard. Another way to call this strategy is also the skewed iron condor, because it is an iron condor because there's the call spread and then you also have the put spread, just that the call spread side is going to be so much smaller than the put side. So the name is not important. What you need to understand is how to construct this strategy, especially according to your risk allocation and also the idea of this strategy, right? Like I mentioned already. Now, for those of you who have an even smaller account, right? Let's say, for example, the max risk per trade you can have is $500. How are you going to construct this strategy? Well, it's going to be pretty similar as well, right? So the very first thing what you want to do is reduce this width down here to how many points wide. Guys, you should know this by now. If your max loss is going to be 500, then you want to stretch this width to only about 5 points wide. So in this case, 5 points away from 487 is 482. Now, this is where you're going to have to start to change your call credit spread a little bit, because you notice that your max credit right now is only 90 cents. But you have already gone to the minimum width of the call credit spread. You notice your width is $1 wide. You cannot go any smaller than that, right? Because the intervals for the SPY is only $1 wide. And if you were to take a look at your P&L graph down here, you notice now it's a loss on the upside, right? If it goes past your call credit spread. So although the loss is minimal, it's still a loss. So how do we actually change this, right? So there are two ways to do this, right? So you have to really take note down here. The first way is that we can shift this whole credit spread towards closer to where the market price is. Why? Because when we shift the call credit spread closer to where the market price is, your call credit spread is going to be worth more, right? If it's going to worth more, it's going to contribute to the overall credit of this strategy. So let's say, for example, let's go to the one at around 41 deltas. So 41 deltas. Let's take a look. As you can see, just nice, we have $1.01. So this just nicely cover the call spread width. So if you were to take a look at your P&L graph down here, you can say, hey, we really have no risk to the upside, right? So as you can see, there's no risk to the upside, but what you've also done is that you've kind of reduced your max profit zone by a little, because your call credit spread, you have shifted from the right-hand side, which was previously should be somewhere around here, you're shifted down here. But that's fine as well, because you know that if the market goes up, you have no risk to the upside. Now, what's the other way that you can adjust this so that, hey, you can still get, slightly more than just $1, right? You can see if the market goes past your call credit spread, it's $1. How can you get more, right? The other way is to shift your whole put spread up, right? Because when you shift your put spread closer to where the current market price is, you're going to get more credit naturally. So let us try slightly higher. Maybe let's go for 490, right? If you go for 490, let's just play around with the strikes and see what we get. So now with 490, we can get $1.13 in credit. So if the market was to go past your call credit spread, then you're going to get $13, right? You're going to get some profit. So again, as you can see, this is how you actually just play around with the strikes and then adjust it according to your risk. So guys, this is the SPY only strategy. It has been doing pretty well for me. So you can definitely try this strategy for yourself as well. By the way, if you like this video, then you're absolutely going to love this next video which I have for you. So go ahead and watch that video right now. Also, if you haven't already gotten your free copy of the Options Income Blueprint, you can do so just by clicking this link down here on your screen and you'll be able to get it for free. Alright, I will see you in the next video.